Well, we're out here working on the Bolens QT16, the Gouda one. Well, I mean, this one's, yeah, she's not too bad. But, gonna be doing some decarboning here of the cylinders, and to my surprise, there's no ring ridge. So, that's good, and they're not all that dirty. But I'm gonna take my wire wheel on my drill here. We're gonna scrub these cylinders up, and I'm pretty sure this head gasket was leaking a little bit, judging by some of the wet dirt around the cylinder. Oh, these are actual Onan gaskets. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one was leaking. Actually, I think you could see it right there. And not a whole lot, but it was leaking. This cylinder head's not too bad, but we're gonna clean all this up and doing the other side as well, of course. And we're gonna put new head gaskets in it, put it back together, and then we're gonna pop the intake manifold off, pop the carb off, clean the carb really well, and see if we can get her to run tits. Stay tuned. Oh no, she's gonna keep. Well, there. That looks a lot gooder than when we started. And another thing we're gonna do while I have the intake off is adjust the valves too. Just probably a good idea. So we will move on to the other side, but I won't make you watch that. Well, as you can see, this side wasn't so bad, and now it's cleaned up too. So the next thing, we're gonna pop the manifold off and get to messing with the carburetor, but we're going to leave the cylinder head off till I get her all back together, so that way if I drop anything down the intake ports, I can just blow them out. All right, stay tuned. All right, well, I just got the valves all adjusted up. They were only a little bit out, so might make a little bit of a difference, might not. But I was working on the carburetor in the garage, which I got to go pull it out of the bucket of Berryman's. And the brand new, well, almost brand new gaskets that I put in it not that long ago flaked apart. So waiting on a carb kit now. So won't be getting this done today, but we are going to get the intake ports cleaned up and get the heads cleaned up, put the heads back on, and put the valve covers back on, so that way when the carb kit shows up, all we got to do is slap it on the intake and slap the carb on the intake, slap the intake on the engine, and fire it up. I even went as far as to do the Cranky Motorsports trick where you put the silicone around the outside of the intake. No, it doesn't look that pretty, but guarantees that it's going to seal if you do it right. Berryman Chem Dip. Let's pop this lid off. Maybe. There we go. There it is. I'm gonna get this pulled out of here and cleaned out, and then we'll go from there. Whoops. Okay, stay tuned. All right, so here is the cleaned carburetor, and I took a wire off my wire brush and poked through all the different holes I could find, cleaned out every orifice that I could think of on this carburetor, just so that it's guaranteed to run as good as it can. It's all cleaned up. You're supposed to only let stuff soak in the Berryman's for about an hour, or for about half an hour, and I left it go for an hour, but you know, already had the brass float in it. But so now we just gotta wait for the carb kit. I don't know if I mentioned it or if you even remember, but one of these screw holes stripped out, and that's what holds the fuel plate, I guess you could call it, where you hook up your fuel line. Holds that on, and I stuck a machine screw in there, or just a sheet metal screw just to hold it. Well, these are a 1024 thread. Well, now they're a 1224 thread. So tapped it out to the next size. That's fixed. Over here, we got this valve cover cleaned off. And I believe it's the right side valve cover. Yeah, the right side. It has the breather assembly on it, but basically this little flapper sits there. This washer goes here. This spring sits on top of it. And then this sandwiches, you put a gasket in there. One of those rectangular looking ones in there. And you sandwich it down like that. Stick the bolt down through the spring and the washer. And that holds the reed valve down. And then you put another gasket on the bottom of that, set it down on the engine. So I'm gonna go put these on the engine, and then we'll get to cleaning the heads, putting those back on, and then we'll have to wait for the carb kit. Well, the heads are all cleaned up and put back on. You got the valve covers back on. I don't know if I showed you that. But we put the shrouding back on either side, cleaned the spark plugs up, gapped them, and they were next to new, so I just let them go. I think I'm gonna stick some better spark plug wires on it. But now we have to wait till the carb kit shows up, which is supposed to be the beginning of next week. So anyway, till it gets here, this is on hold. Well, it's now the next week. We got the carburetor all put back together. And I went through every orifice of this carburetor with a wire out of my wire brush and cleaned it out real good. So in theory, it should be good to go once I get it adjusted. I need to figure out a way to fasten the choke cable to the air cleaner lid, I do believe. Because where the, oh no, I guess there is a thing there for it. And honestly, I think if we look over here, at this here parts tractor, well, there's that thing. Might be able to make do with that. But yeah. Anyway, let's set the camera up and we'll see how it starts. Give it a little throttle, I guess. We must have done something right. She's purring like a kitten. We'll get the air cleaner put back on here in a little bit, and we'll take her for a spin. Right on. So naturally, I get it all back together. I'm just about ready to take it for a test drive. And I fire it up and just do a quick couple revs up and down, and the throttle cable snapped. So I unbolted the actual throttle mechanism from the dash, pulled it out, and I pulled the wire out, rebent this end because this end's what snapped, the little hooked end that hooks to the throttle linkage in there, and then ran it back through and hooked it back up, and actually got it freed up and it works a lot nicer, because before you really had to force it. So that's probably why it snapped. But now we are ready to go for a test drive as soon as I latch the hood, because you know, we're gonna go so fast I don't want it to blow off. Watch this. Oh yeah, no choke even. Oh yeah, that's nice. Just revs right up. Oh, let's pick the deck up. There we go. So nice. I had it up at my house a few weeks ago cutting my grass, and that's when it was running okay, and well, then it was running not so much okay. So that's what made me decide to do all this. The only thing I didn't do is the plug wires, but we'll get there. But yeah, so far it runs way better. Let's hope it stays that way. Well, I think we got her fixed. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you want the full details on how to make an Onan run properly, go check out my buddy Cranky Motorsports how-to video series. And try to remember to leave a link down the description below. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, guys, take care.